Netflix to employees: if you don't like our content, you can quit. It's not like employees should have a say in what gets made on Netflix unless they are in a high enough position to decide such things. If a low-level grunt employee gets angry over a show on Netflix, then they can quit and find another place to work. Unpopular opinion, but businesses shouldn't have to cater their services on behalf of their employees. That's like going to work for a cigarette company and saying they shouldn't sell cigarettes. Or going to work for an oil company and saying they shouldn't be in the oil industry. Or going to work for Tesla and saying that Edison had the better idea and should be the future of design. Work for the company that aligns with your own personal values. Or if they don't align, then find how much you need to get paid to make you happy regardless. TBH, Netflix content is now a minefield. Remember the morons who destroyed Game of Thrones? Netflix is bending over for them hard. If you haven't cancelled your sub already, there's a nice little nugget of cold revenge you can give the hacks. I mean, what's wrong with that logic, honestly? If you work for a drug company but you hate Big Pharma, quit? If you don't want to work for a company because of moral disagreement, or you just don't like what they're doing, don't work for that company. Netflix seems to be trying everything to hurt its left. I bet someone told them not to cancel random shows and invest in things that people want to watch. It feels like there's a break in what the workers want and what the executives want. Don't mind if I do. Interesting. Blockbuster? As my wife tells me, don't let the door hit you where the hood lord split ya. If you don't like my lyrics, you can press fast forward. Money plays. The pay is too good. They'll take the abuse. How reasonable. Good, they can go work at Geiger then. Reasonable request. I don't determine what product my company manufactures, nor did they hire me to. If I don't like, it's not their responsibility to meet my wants. Not an employee, but I quit Netflix last week and saved myself $20. Back to sailing the high seas for me. I like the ease of doing it the legal way until the legal way became too expensive with less content. I guess they have the same policy for subscribers, lol. Same applies to Netflix customers. Is that not considered common sense? If you work for a company and don't like the direction they're going, but aren't in a position where you can change that, leave. Pretty simple. As the Netflix stock tanks, thumbs up. Meanwhile, Netflix told the director of Kashmir Files to remove the word Islamic terrorism if they want the movie to stream on their platform. Artistic expression, lol. Yeah, that goes for subscribers too. 6 months later, THRYLL be wondering why they're having a hard time recruiting. I support this. Performative outrage is ridiculous. If you don't like a show or its content, simply don't watch it. It's not for you. Don't take everything personally. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Sun Tzu. I mean, it's not like there's millions waiting to take their place. Isn't this reasonable? This goes for any company. If you don't like what they're doing, quit. What Netflix content is so controversial? Besides the varying quality of it, of course. Why are articles behind a paywall allowed? Cool, canceling Netflix at the end of the year got that much easier. Not sure this is the correct stance to take, Netflix thinking face. Netflix to employees: if you don't like our content, you can quit. Netflix employees: okay. Netflix to customers: if you don't like less content, higher prices, ads, and the removal of account sharing, you can leave. Netflix customers: okay. Netflix, wait. Hold up a second. Netflix woke up on the wrong side of the bed, loudly crying face. From my experience, Netflix almost never hires new graduates and only targets senior engineers. Almost all of their employees will have an easy time getting a new job. Also, all mid to high-end engineers get a significant portion of their total compensation as stock/options, so I would be surprised if people aren't already quitting. Not an employee, but I got your message. Savage mode. Netflix found out how to increase profit. Just fire your talent or convince them to leave. It Trudeau. I agree. If you don't believe in what your company is doing, then go work somewhere else. Don't quit. Bleed em dry. The people holding Netflix's stock must be preparing to short it or something. Woke and broke. The article is behind a paywall. WTF free press. I love this energy. This subreddit is utter trash. I unsubscribed and I still get the posts on my front page somehow. More companies like this. Maybe I won't cancel my sub just yet then. The only Netflix decision I agree with. As someone who's non-religious, I worked at a Christian big box retailer for 10 years. So to Netflix, I can think your whole business is silly AF, but if you pay well, I can deal with it. I red heart Netflix. Everyone quits Netflix, hushed face. Cancel culture is finally getting cancelled. How ironic, lol. That's pretty much what all their subscribers did. Finally, a company with backbone. I am sick of services being censored or limited due to the personal politics of a few activists' employees who can't seem to grasp the concept of live and let live. If Netflix was a restaurant, every now and then the chef would walk out and protest over what the customer ordered. About time Netflix fire the chef. Netflix is doing some pretty strange stuff for a company that's on the brink of collapse. Problem is their customers are leaving a well. Company that has a backbone. Whoa. It's about time these companies grew a pair. These people are offended by everything and we need to stop pandering to them. Well, I'm glad people are finally back on the high seas again. Good to have company. It would be better to terminate them. Employees whom do not agree with their job have poor work ethic, so quality will likely suffer. Quality will also likely suffer due to disgruntled employees' retaliation. Not a smart move, but I respect the gumption. I like Netflix even more now. Good for Netflix. First they cancel good shows that end on cliffhangers, now they are trying to cancel their workforce. We'll never forgive them for canceling The Dark Crystal. Common sense would tell you employees shouldn't dictate the direction of any company. That's obviously a recipe for failure. This is unironically the correct take. Employee, I don't like your content, feel free to fire me. Based AF Netflix. Please more firms learn from Netflix. It's lit. About time these companies grew a backbone. Don't try and tell me I'm obviously upset, I'm not. Other lifestyles are fine as long as they don't try and push them on me. Live and let live. Just tired of being constantly bombarded with the alternative lifestyles everywhere. Since you're so intent on getting a negative response from me, I'm done with your baiting. Be well. This seems perfectly reasonable. Your job is to work on whatever for Netflix. If you don't like it or don't agree with it, find a new job? Oh. They've grown a backbone after losing 64% of their value in a week? Get woke, go broke seems to be becoming the spell of the day. The best business response I've ever heard. LOL. Finally. Enough of a minority trying to dictate to a majority. Good, sick of this woke plague. I love watching empires rise and fall. First Blockbuster, now Netflix, the king is dead. Long live the king. Also Netflix employees, cuties, I sleep. That has never backfired ever. Chad Netflix versus Virgin employees. Purge the toxic wokeness from the tech companies. Good. It's about time companies quit pandering to employees think their feeling about content are relevant. Lose your labor pool, lose your customers, hate your product, hate your audience, the spectacular decline of Netflix. EFF, the woke employees at Netflix. Just like their viewers. I'm surprised that many people work on that anymore. 90% of their content looks like made by an algorithm. Man, they are just trying to fail. Well, what did you expect? Business is business, they exist to make profits for shareholders and top management. Certain content is profitable ATM, so they monetize it. If you don't like our content, you can quit, just like our subscribers are. Employees at some of these companies definitely have an inflated sense of their ability to affect change. In many cases, it's not your company, and if you don't like how they do something, within the bounds of the law, they can and should go somewhere else. I don't agree with how Netflix handles content, but they're not the only game in town. This is not the year to try intimidating workers. Customer to Netflix, we don't like your content, we quit. Netflix, please come back. We added 100 shows you may like but will eventually not even continue the series after one season. Woke company. Time to quit, guys. I didn't read the article. Who is this aimed at? Lefty employees boycotting Chappelle and other unwoke programming, or right-wing employees boycotting trans and grooming stuff? Finally. Don't like your employer? Just leave. Finally, companies are beginning to push back on the woke bull dollar hashtag. Plus, if you don't like it, get the F out. Netflix, are you still working? Pretty sure they're saying the same thing to their subscribers. Netflix is the Google of shows. Yeah, quit so I can have your $400,000 plus job with unlimited time off. Okay, by waving hand, lol. LOL, bye EI. Stop showing articles I have to pay for to read. Nice taunt. I did 2 weeks ago. Is this somehow wrong? Why shouldn't they take this stance? Goodbye Netflix, people will still stay for their severance pay. After they tank over the course of the next 12 months, Tyler Perry and some black entrepreneurs should buy it out and move the whole company and production to Atlanta. I fully support companies finally standing up to the woke ideology of being offended at everything and bullying them to bend the knee. Netflix is blockbustering themselves and it's hilarious. Don't like what they have to watch, unsubscribe. Don't like your job, get a different one. Stop trying to make people bend to your preferences, it's ridiculous. Their stock is tanking. They are losing subscribers. Employees should have their eyes on the door. Companies do these kind of redemption arcs for their very fragile right-wing consumer. Twitter is doing one now too. Netflix being based only cause they're losing money. They didn't have a problem pandering to the deranged people before. Face with tears of joy, see ya Netflix. Why would they care? Aren't Netflix one of the best paying for software engineers? It's just a job at the end of the day, who cares as long as you get paid? This post reminded me to cancel, I forgot to. Thanks. The old slash and burn technique. Netflix execs have proven to be some of the dumbest people on this planet. Netflix trying to speed run into bankruptcy, face with tears of joy. Our subs already did. Bold statement for a company who's had their shares drop by more than 35%. Leftists seethe. LOL, this the same for any company. No one is forcing you to work there. That's a W for Netflix. Get woke, go broke still is true. Honestly, considering how ridiculous the Dave Chappelle situation was, I think this is a great move for them. I guess that woke content must not be working out too well for them. Without reading the article, the headline makes it seem like a terrible choice of words. It's like Netflix is suffering from success and want to watch itself burn. You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. Something like that. Glad my mommy still pays for Netflix so I don't have to. Go woke, go broke and employeless. Good for Netflix. Go create something better. I'm tired of hearing about whiners who have never built or created anything, deciding if others can continue to build or create. Netflix, hatred of hate is hate. Intolerance of intolerance is intolerance. Discriminating against discrimination is discrimination. Woke white liberals go re lol, this is hilarious. Netflix to paying customers, if you don't like our content, you can, wait, no, POS, this article too was only for subscribers. Sad face. Good times make weak employees make hard times make fired employees. I stopped using Netflix 3 months ago. Netflix has perfected the art of making the worst movies you've ever seen. Yup, respect this. That seems to be what subscribers are doing as well. It's a job, they should shut up and get to work. Nature is healing. Netflix finally learning go woke, go broke. Man, if Netflix only wants employees who like their content, it's going to be a pretty limited pool of candidates. One small step towards taking back our lives from these woke terrorists. This is the reason why Netflix is falling and probably will be doomed too. Netflix to customers, if you don't like our content, you can quit. Can't wait to see Netflix's shocked Pikachu face when they do rolling on the floor laughing. Take this shove and job it. In other words, we are gonna lay you off anyway, so bye. My last day at Netflix was yesterday, and I never once cared about the quality of their content the whole time I worked there. Why would I? My job is to do my job well and go home so I can spend the money I made at my job. I'll start my new job at another studio on Monday and continue to do good work and continue to not care about the company I work for and what they choose to make. Netflix is gonna be the next blockbuster video. My company did the same thing over coming back into the office. My interviewing starts next week. This is a pointless post. The article is behind a paywall, and the interesting part you can read makes it fairly clear this is in regards to content some may be offended by, not content people aren't a fan of. Clearly different arguments. I could be wrong, but it sure seems like Netflix is doing everything they can to drive down that stock price. This will all make sense when they announce they're being sold to NBC or Amazon at a wonderful discount. What content? I mean, fair enough. I wonder how long it will take them to complete the self-destruct sequence. I remember when Netflix was $7.99 monthly. Weary face. Crazy that we're watching a tech giant drive itself into the ground due to terrible management decisions. We did quit. The link is paywalled? BCG board members are killing the company one step at a time. Just like Sears and Toys R Us. Wall Street insider crime unchecked. In a few months we are going to hear Netflix complain about staffing issues. This is the only good thing Netflix has done this quarter. What content? If they had a 3-day weekend plan, appropriately priced, I could watch everything I wanted and still get plenty of sleep. They probably will. Woke is hated. You're doing great, honey. Netflix really taking this nosedive to a new level. LOL. Since when it liking the product been a key part of being employed somewhere? What is it with Netflix making awful decisions both socially and economically? What content? Is it cake? LOL. Netflix has become unwatchable. Even my kids don't watch it anymore. I canceled just yesterday. I don't need 10 streaming options and the value is gone. Is anyone even interested in Stranger Things anymore? LOL. I feel like Netflix thinks that show will save them. Oh, that reminds me, I've been meaning to cancel and still haven't. After they go bankrupt, worker shortage causes streaming giant Netflix to fail. So any bets on when the Netflix short squeeze is coming? Hire me, please. The old double down douchebag maneuver. Just don't cancel Love, Death Plus Robots and The Dragon Prince and I'm good. The grunts can do whatever they want after those shows conclude. LOL. June 4th is our last day. Thanks Netflix for making it easy. Good, I would quit. It's all about turnover. Bye. Way ahead of you. What a tremendous fall from grace, anyway. If you don't like our content, we canceled the next season anyway. I'm convinced the board is all Comcast/Disney plants at this point. Not only are they shooting themselves in the foot, they are building scaffolding to aim better. They took notes for over a decade on how to win users, and suddenly, they're experts on how to destroy themselves all of a sudden. Perhaps maybe your customers feel the same way as your employees. Honestly, how is a company this absolutely blind to its customer base's desires? I'm sure there are examples, but I can't think of a large successful company that has ever blindly shot itself in the foot like this. Netflix straight up imploding. Don't employees have the right to quit for any reason? Really just a waste of effort and an invitation for bad press to bother putting this in writing.